you're at all a fan of anything with cheese, you're gonna love this one. Welcome back to the Anabolic Hub, where we make anabolic deliciousness. We're back inside my kitchen today, and we're doing another original recipe. Today, we have anabolic cheesy bread. Yes, cheesy bread. That thing we always get with the other junk that we order out when we get pizza, when we get a bucket of wings, whatever junk food might be that we're calling out for, this always seems to be one of those sides or something they throw in there as a nice little extra. But what do we know about that? Along with the other junk that we're getting, it's usually a ton of fat and a ton of calories. Well, this version here is the complete opposite. This one has 85 grams of protein and only 2 grams of fat. Perfect macros for any snack, gonna satisfy your craving, gonna be ideal for any shredding plan, any weight loss plan, any main gaining plan. This is going to get you directly to the next meal, no questions asked. You won't be looking at that clock. This is so satisfying. With no further ado, let's get things started by having a look at the ingredients. Here we go. Cauliflower rice, egg whites, garlic powder, Italian seasoning, fat-free mozzarella, salt, and pepper. Today we have an extra special anabolic recipe. This one here, we're gonna be mixing all of our ingredients together in the same bowl, getting them all incorporated with one another, and that's going to be it. Nice and simple, super easy. Let's get things started here by talking about our cauliflower rice. So here I have 530 grams of the cauliflower rice that we're going to be using today. You can buy this store-bought if you want to. A lot of grocery stores carry it in their produce aisle. You can get it already in this rice form, ready to go. You can also find it in the freezer section. If you do end up getting your cauliflower rice from the freezer section, you have to be careful. Once you make it, you're gonna want to drain it. Oftentimes with a lot of cauliflower rice that comes frozen, it's going to have some water retention from the freezing process, of course. So what you wanna do in that case is make sure after you cook it, you drain it. You can put it in a pasta strainer. Just let as much of the liquid get out of it as possible. If not, this cheesy bread's going to be super soggy and no good, and that you definitely do not want. I, of course, have already weighed out the cauliflower rice, so we have 530 grams on the money ready to go for us in the mixing bowl here. Next up, we're gonna add in 60 grams of our egg whites. A little bit over, but no worries, only a couple grams, just more protein in. Next, we're gonna add in the garlic powder. We're gonna use 2 grams of this here. Now, if you wanna get fancy, you can get cloves of garlic, and I'll be honest, it does taste a little bit better if you use actual cloves of garlic. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible here for us, so I'm using the garlic powder. The flavor is pretty close, but nothing's going to beat fresh cloves of garlic. If you wanted to mince those up and put these into the recipe, it's going to taste a little bit better. But here, we're keeping it simple, just as anabolic with our garlic powder, 2 grams, here we go. Next up, we're gonna add in our Italian seasoning. You need about half a gram of this stuff going in here. Now, if you don't have a point scale, you can use half a teaspoon. It's gonna be about the same. That's what I'm gonna do here because I don't have a point scale. So I'm gonna put this in here, half a teaspoon or about half a gram of the Italian seasoning. Next up, we're gonna put in some of our fat-free mozzarella cheese here, and by some, I mean 112 grams going in here to the mixture. 112 grams on the money. But you're gonna wanna save the rest of this, so put it off to the side, but keep it close. Quick interlude here, just wanted to break in real quick and ask if you wouldn't mind, could you please smash the like button? Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And question, if you guys could have cheesy bread or cinnamon bread, which one would you choose? Another one of those savory versus sweet questions. Let me know, comment section down below. Thanks. Now, back to the video. Our last 2 ingredients that we're going to be putting into the mixture is going to be our salt and our pepper. You can do these to taste however much you like, totally up to you. Obviously, not gonna change the macros at all. After all of the ingredients are in the bowl, it's time to mix everything up and get it well incorporated. Once everything is well incorporated, you're good to go on to the next step, but just make sure you mix it very well. The first attempt I did not mix long enough, and I ended up having some parts of cheesy bread that were cheesier than others, and that you definitely don't want. You want the appropriate amount of anabolic cheesiness across all of your breadsticks. Let's get this in the pan. So I have an 8 by 11.5 baking pan here that I'm going to spray down with some non-stick cooking spray. I don't know if you need to do this. I've done it each time that I've made it because I am scared to death of this sticking to the bottom of this pan, like it happened with me on the Anabolic apple pie breakfast bake. I never want to have to do that cleanup again. So maybe I'm just being a little bit paranoid, but nonetheless, for the amount of calories that it's going to add, which is very minimal, I'm gonna do it. High capacity non-stick cooking spray loaded. Fire away. And after you have your baking pan sprayed down, what you have to do next is put your mixture in it. Go figure. After you get your mixture dumped into the pan, you just want to pat it down, spread it out corner to corner, make it nice and even. Now our mixture is ready to go into the oven. We have it preheated at 425 degrees Fahrenheit or about 215 degrees Celsius. We're gonna put it in there for 20 to 25 minutes. Then we're gonna take it out, add on a little bit more of anabolic cheesy deliciousness, put it back in the oven for about 5 or 10 more minutes or until that cheese melts. And then it's over to the taste test table. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's get this baby cooking in the oven right now. So I just took this out of the oven after 25 minutes. We're gonna add on a little bit more of the spice just to taste, and then we're gonna put the rest of the cheese on top, and then it's back into the oven for about 5 to 10 minutes until the top of the cheese melts, and then it's over to the taste test table. So it's been 5 minutes, I just took it out of the oven. Now it's time to cut it up and head over to the taste test table. So we're back at the taste test table here, going to be trying this cheesy bread that smells incredible. There is so much cheese. Oh my goodness. That's just the amount that I could fit on the cutting board. I didn't want to start stacking them up because I've done that before and then the cheese gets caught and they kind of get all messed up. So for presentation purposes, I've laid them out nice and neat on the cutting board for us here. 5 slices of cheesy bread ready to go here, and I am so excited to try them again. Such a simple recipe to put together. Not a lot of ingredients, you just mix it all together, give it a good mix, put it in a pan, pop it in the oven, wait 25 minutes, 5 minutes more, and you're done, ready to enjoy. And man, the best way I found to enjoy is with a little side of marinara sauce. Doesn't add a lot of calories at all, especially if you're checking the macros before you buy it. Just something that adds one more level of flavor to an already delicious snack that you can have here. With no further ado, let's dive right into the taste test here. So let's see, I'm gonna go with this one right here. I'm gonna break it in half. Look at that, nice up close view of what it looks like. Looks like I'm holding a block of cheese. There is that much cheese, there is that much anabolic deliciousness in these. Let's give it a go, dipping it into the marinara. Taste test time. First bite, best bite, always. Can't convince me otherwise. Oh wow. So much flavor between the spices and the amount of cheese that we put on. Just bursts. Feels like something you're having as a cheat meal. These hold together really well. If for some reason you're noticing that the cauliflower rice is breaking apart a little bit, it probably means that you didn't mix it thoroughly enough. It's really important that you get the egg white totally dispersed around the entire mixture. It's just going to allow for everything to hold much better. If you think that's something that you want to be more sure of, what you can do is get the imitation eggs, egg beaters that has the yellow coloring in it. That way you can see that it's dispersed amongst the entire mixture. A little hard to tell with the egg whites. I had to give it a couple of goes and I just really mix until I think I've mixed enough and then I mix some more just to make sure that everything's dispersed. But if you get that part down, this recipe, winner every time. And if you like your cheesy bread a little crispier, what you can do is cook it for another 5 to 10 minutes before you put the cheese on. The cauliflower rice will actually crisp up a little bit more. You'll get more of a crunchy texture. I don't really like it that crunchy, but you can do it. I experimented with a few different cooking times. I think 25 minutes before you put the cheese on is the absolute minimum that you should do. But if you like it a little bit crispier, leaving it on for 30, 35 minutes, it's gonna get you there to where you wanna be, I think. Just remember to do that before you put the cheese on. If you take it out after 25 minutes, put the cheese on, and then have it go for another 15 to 20 minutes, it's gonna be not so great. You're gonna end up burning the cheese, but doing it that way, great way to get it a little bit crispier. I happen to love it like this. Personally, I think it's a perfect texture. You don't really taste the cauliflower rice at all. Between the spices and the cheese, it's really masked. There's not a whole lot of flavor to cauliflower anyway, but even in this recipe, you don't really taste it at all. And you can season these however you want. If you like different spices, you could put some crushed red pepper on top if you wanted to. You can add it into the mixture. Whatever your favorite spices are. I happen to like the Italian seasoning, and I think the garlic powder gives it a great flavor along with that. But you can do whatever you want because it's the Anabolic kitchen and there's no rules. One of the best parts about this recipe are the macros. Now you have 85 grams of protein, and I'll flash up the macros here so we can see everything that's in them. But 85 grams of protein in these, less than 600 calories total. This could be a bigger snack for you if you're not going to be eating for a while. If you're looking for that snack that's going to carry you into a later dinner, this is something that's perfect to get you there. It's going to keep you satiated, filled with a ton of protein. You just won't get hungry, easily allowing you to get to the next meal. If you're having a bunch of people over, you're looking for some kind of appetizer to throw out there, you could easily double batch this, put it out before, tell people it's cheesy bread, they're not going to know the difference. If you're at all a fan of anything with cheese, you're gonna love this one. Again, the key is in that cooking time. If you don't cook it long enough, it's gonna fall apart on you. You gotta let it cook for at least 25 minutes. If you like it a little crispy, like I said, cook it a little bit longer, maybe 5 to 10 minutes more. Take it out, check it out, see if it's at the right crispiness level for you. You can always put it back in, but once it's cooked, that's it, it's over. You don't wanna burn this, trust me, you'd be very upset with yourself. A fantastic recipe, one that I hope you do try. If you do, please let me know in the comment section down below. I'm curious about how it came out for you. Any other thoughts, comments, obviously, those are welcome down there as well. But it's getting to be about that time. I gotta get up out of here. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.